I've done product development for a number of multi-million-dollar companies, and 2 months ago, Vivosun sent me their prototype for the VSeed. Wow, they packed this well. Today I'm going to break down the three major components. There is software, there's hardware, and then there's product design. How well does it all work together? Is it easy to use? All of that fun stuff. So keep watching because we're getting into it. Now I'm going to start out with the software, but I do want to make a point to say you do not have to use the software. You can do this all manually, old school, analog, right from the front of the device. And here we go, guys. This is the new VSeed from Vivosun. It's the world's first ebb and flow smart seedling box. But let's look at the software. All right, as we open our Vivosun app on the phone, I'm just going to scroll down and select my device. And here is a look at the interface. Up here we have the root zone temperature, 77.8. We're going to talk about that. The temperature inside the box, 75.7, 93% humidity, 0.2 VPD. So it gives you all the fun data points that you're looking at. You can adjust it here. There's different cycles. Again, germination, sowing, seedling. Sowing, I would go for clone probably. Root temp though, again, we're going to talk about that here. You can adjust it and set it here. You have your target humidity, which will trigger the fans to be either on or off. So that's a cool feature. The light, on or off, and you can also control the intensity here. You're not going to need it 100% the whole time, especially if you're waiting for seeds to pop up. So you've got your start time, your on duration, irrigation on or off, light dependent or kind of a custom schedule. Custom schedule, even though I'm just leaving the lights on 24 hours, doesn't matter. You could play around with that. The start time and then the daily runs for the water. So that is the software in a nutshell. Again, you have different things that you can control directly from your phone. But don't forget, guys, you can do this all from the front of the device, so you don't have to do this if you don't like the technology aspect. But what about the hardware? Setup is simple. There's only two cords. You got your power brick, and then you got the light, or the cord to connect the light to the power area. Power brick into the wall, and the other end into the side of your VSeed. Now let's get the light powered up. Take this side of your cord, plug it right into here, and then you take the other side of the cord and plug it all the way up here. Let there be lights. On the front right side of the machine, you will see this little grill here. This is where you add your water. So you just remove the little grill and pour your water right into the machine. How much should you add? Well, good news, guys. There is a meter right here for you. It maxes out up here, and you want to fill it in between, 3 and 4. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Fill it between 3 and 4, and you should be good. And here's a little tip. You can lift it up like this, but there's a better way. So try not to lift it up from the side. It's a little bit wonky as far as like awkward weight in your hand. So I would hate to see this drop. But also we are kind of stoners, guys. So remember that this thing is attached with a freaking cord. Don't just like, woo, lift it up and then yank cords out or cause things to spill. That's something I would probably suggest. Maybe put like a longer cord or find maybe another way to do that. But yeah. Oh, geez, see, I just almost did it there. Let me show you the right way to take this off. On the very top, you've got your fans here and you've got the cool logo, but guess what? It acts as a handle. Yeah. You might be wondering if you need to pre-soak your plugs, and well, I've turned the machine on, I dropped in dry plugs, and they're already getting wet from the top all across the board, so that's a positive. Here's an image of what ebb and flow is, in case that is a new term to you. But let's actually take a look at the actual machine and see how it works and functions. So we've got our tray here, right? And it's sitting in this little reservoir. If I lifted this tray out, ooh, you see the reservoir there. And now, when the irrigation is triggered on the VSeed, it starts to fill it. this reservoir fills to a certain point, the plugs, they're able to soak up their water, and then this drains back into the main reservoir, as you can see it doing over here. So just a little bit of water for it to soak it up, and then it disappears so they don't stay waterlogged. That is the ebb and flow system of the VSeed. You guys know I'm just naturally curious now. If you buy cocoa bricks, a lot of times you need to wash that to check the pH, check the EC. I'm curious about the plugs here. So I've got that water there. We're going to check the pH. We're going to drop our plugs in, and then we'll check the pH about 20 minutes later to see if you need to do any adjusting before planting your seeds. All right, we're starting at 6.87 on the pH. Let's let it sit for about 20 minutes and see if it swings after we add our plugs. All right, it has been about 40 minutes. These things are well marinated. I got distracted hanging out in chat with all of you guys, watching the happy hour with Soup, JR, and Grambo, and now I'm Garden Cultivation Network with Sea Bunny and Mr. Organics. But yeah, as you guys can see, 6.57 is kind of where it is sitting now after marinating. Not a significant change from what the original water was. So plugs seem kind of good to go, but hey, soak them if you feel like you want to. So there we go. We're starting out. We've got the unsoaked cubes in the back and then the pre-soaked cubes in the front. They're both wet because, well, water. Okay, but the whole point of that was things are rolling, man. I hope to see these seeds sprouting here in a couple days. Things are looking nice and steamy. And although I'm testing it out for seeds right now, I mean, that amount of humidity bodes very well for clones, which I personally think is going to be one of this device's strong points. Why do I think that's going to be one of the strong points? Because we're entering an era where clones may be easier to acquire than seeds. Now, you want to have your clones on point. You want them rooted fast. You want them looking good. And if you're able to control the environment, the light, the water, all of that directly from like an app, your phone, obviously use your eyes, guys, but if you can control that all remotely, you set up a whole bunch of those, you got pretty reliable banks of clones ready to go, and I like that idea. Well, looky here. It looks like we've got a friend that's ready to pop up out of the cube, and we've got another one up here that's getting ready to pop right out as well. So good news, guys. The first two to pop up, one is from the pre-soaked, the other is from the not pre-soaked. So is there really a difference? It's just more or less preference with this machine. All right, guys, let's have a look at them today. Things are looking good. 7 of the 8 have germinated. Actually, 8 of the 8. Let's take a closer look. So going in closer here, we can actually see that the 8th one, it did germinate down in there, but it's having a hard time getting out. It's kind of backwards, and sometimes that can happen with plugs, but let me show you how you can rescue that real quick. You can do this a few different ways. Again, we've got it in there, it just isn't coming out. It wants to come out, but it's turned around. So a few different ways you can do this. Make sure you have medium ready for it to go in. You could use some scissors because the plugs, they're kind of thick there. I also like the scalpel. You just kind of, you're cutting into your block, right? You're just kind of cutting, getting close to it. It really hasn't made that good of a connection yet with the block. Roots aren't coming out yet, but you do want to be careful. So, okay, I can see I'm into it. There it is. Okay, so now you can just pull little bits of it away, or you can just completely take it out and put it into a new medium. But now we know that this thing is going to pop up and keep growing fine. See? Yeah, I was a little bit confused there, but it's good to go. So let's let it shine. Before I get into the final report card for the VSeed and my overall thoughts, I want to circle back to what I mentioned earlier about root zone temperature. Now the VSeed has the capability through a heat mat in the bottom. Well, it's actually better than a heat mat. It's thermal diffusion. Very cool. But it has a way to heat your water, right? And it has the ability to heat it from 68 all the way to 90 degrees. 90 degrees worries me. Now, two reasons, right? Okay, so temperature of the water matters. One, for dissolved oxygen. Roots need oxygen too. And the hotter it gets, the lower that is. The colder it is, the more there is available. But you also don't want it to be too cold because it would shock your roots. So that's why it's able to heat it. But the second thing, and the most concerning thing to me, especially if somebody's running it truly at 90 degrees, that is a big invitation for root rot, things like pythium. So you wouldn't actually ever want to run it at 90 degrees. But I already know of an example of how that could work to your benefit. So checking my water temperature here, it's only 3 degrees warmer than my actual room temperature. So the water pretty much by itself is going to stay at room temperature. Now, let's just say it was the middle of the winter and it was very cold out and you're only able to like heat the inside of your house up to 60 degrees. Well, that's when it would come in handy. And sometimes, as we all know, you may need to overpower certain things because even if you truly set it at 90, if it's a really cold day, there's a big differential. So it may never ever reach truly 90, but it may reach the area that you need. So it gives you a lot of it gives you a lot of extra headroom in case you're facing really cold ambient air temperatures. This will keep your roots at the right temperature. So that is what I wanted to say about that feature. And in case you were wondering, the ideal water temp for starting your seedlings is about 70 to 80, and ideal relative humidity is 70 to 90%. So who is this unit for? Well, it's not going to be for budget growers. This is an expensive item. It's something that you could do at a lower cost. However, the cost is made up for by certain features. And for advanced growers or busy growers, growers with a larger budget, I definitely see how it can be practical. Again, I like the ability to run a bank of clones and control each little aspect instead of trying to control the room and other things around it. So small, compartmentalized, I enjoy that, but it also comes with a price tag. The software. So software I give an A. There's really not much to it, which I like. It's like going down the bread aisle and there's 50 kinds of bread. Like, dude, give me 5, right? So there's actually 4 options in here for you to control, making it super simple. The setup of it was very easy. If you have the Vivosun app installed, you have your Bluetooth and Wi-Fi connected, you just stand next to the device, you get it connected. Very simple. So in the age of technology, as an older guy, I appreciate simplicity when it comes to getting software up and running. Next up is the hardware, which overall I feel this thing is well built, but I'm going to give it a B-. And please do keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this is a prototype model. They send these things to growers like me to get the input so they can then make changes before it goes out to everyone else. So maybe they listen to this, maybe they don't, but don't think that this is the final product quite yet. So, okay, it went from an A to a B because of the top piece. So the top piece, it's all in one. The fans are built into it. The light is built into it. It's a nice thick plastic, but because of the odd weight of it by having the light and the fans in the top, I just feel, and I haven't tested this because I don't want to test this, but I just feel that if you were to drop that from a considerable height and it landed like on the corner, the edge of the bottom, all of that additional weight and just the awkward weighting of it may cause it to break. And if it breaks, if it just cracks, okay, you can still kind of get away with it. But if it actually breaks in two, you now don't have a light for your unit. You have to wait to get another one. Yeah, you can rig something else, but that light and those fans are a cool feature, which is part of the price. So I moved it from an A to a B because of that one thing. That's something they may be able to reinforce. They may be able to attach the light differently. I have ideas. they have to ask. That's all yeah, they just have to ask. But it went from a B to a B minus because of the length of the cord. This is an easy fix, or it could be a complex fix. I have ideas for both. The easy part would just be, dude, put a longer cord on there. Because as you saw, if you just lift that top up even this much, which, you know, you want to clear the top of your clones before you move it off, your cord is already yanking on it, which is not good. That may cause you to drop it, which may cause it to fall in that corner, which may cause it to break. So yeah, the length of the cord needs to be addressed for sure. The easy way, again, add a longer cord. The more involved way would be to actually put like little teeth or mounts or grooves on the side of the box. So when you, well, on the side of the top, so when you set it down into the grooves, it then connects into that, and that's where it gets its power. So no cord, you lift it off, no problem. That's the more complex way to do it though, but I know it can be done. Simple, get a shorter cord, or get a longer cord. Yeah, longer cord. But that is my thoughts and my critiques of the actual hardware. And finally, just the overall product design. A plus, guys. Like, there isn't anything that I think it is lacking. Again, there were a few changes I would like to see, but there's nothing that it's lacking. It actually offers more than a lot of other systems that came before it. It is the first ebb and flow machine like this, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, overall, A+. I'm excited about it. I can't wait to continue to use it. I am doing seedlings, as you just saw, but I'm about to dive into some clones too, so I'm digging it. You guys can go and check it out. Right now, it is in the crowdfunding arena, so it's not available up on the website yet, but here is the link where you could go get one as part of one of the early adopters. Give them your feedback, and give me your feedback, guys. What do you think about this thing? Let me know down in the comments. ChadWestport.com is where you can find my gear and merch. Keep it locked here on the Chad Westport YouTube channel, and remember, everybody, save yourself some money by using the discount code, and party on.